message arrives at midnight. No application, no interview, no approval committee, just a notification. Every citizen has received capital, not aid. It's not charity. Ownership. Markets pause. Governments scramble. The old welfare system quietly becomes obsolete, and nothing will ever work the same again. For generations, societies have tried to solve one problem. How do you protect people from poverty? Without destroying motivation, dignity, or growth, the answers came as welfare programs, safety nets, subsidies, conditions. But what if the question itself was wrong? What if instead of giving people money to survive, we gave them capital to own? What if universal basic capital replaced every welfare system on Earth? Universal basic capital UBCs, not income. It is not paid monthly. It is not dependent on employment status, does not disappear when you succeed. It is a one-time, more periodically renewed endowment, real assets, equity, productive capital. Every citizen begins life with a stake in the economy, not a lifeline, a launchpad. Traditional welfare treats poverty as a condition to manage. UBC treats it as a lack of ownership. Instead of food stamps, people receive shares. Instead of housing vouchers, people receive property stakes. Instead of unemployment benefits, people receive capital to invest. The relationship between citizen and state transforms from dependency to participation. Welfare systems were born in crisis. Industrialization, urban poverty, mass unemployment, they were emergency responses, and they worked to a point. But they also created bureaucracy, stigma, incentive traps. Welfare prevented collapse, did not create prosperity. Means testing punished ambition. Benefits disappeared as income rose. Complex rules created fear and confusion. People stayed trapped not by laziness, but by design. UBC proposes a different philosophy. No tests, no penalties, no conditions. Imagine turning 18. Instead of a welfare file, you receive assets. A diversified investment portfolio, partial ownership in national infrastructure shares and public wealth funds. Access to productive capital markets. This capital cannot be wasted overnight. It is structured, protected. Long-term, you don't spend it, you use it. UBC is not cash handouts. It is capital with rules. Withdrawals are limited. Investments are guided. Ownership is permanent. The goal is stability, not consumption. Wealth generation, not survival. Traditional welfare, temporary relief, conditional support, consumption-based. Stigma-attached universal basic capital, permanent ownership, universal access, investment-based, dignity preserved. The difference is psychological as much as economic. With capital, people stop living paycheck to paycheck. Emergency expenses no longer destroy lives. Risk becomes survivable. Planning becomes possible. This is not abundance, it is resilience. People can take risks, start businesses, change careers, invest in education. Failure no longer equals ruin. Innovation accelerates not from desperation, but from security. Workers gain leverage. Bad jobs lose power. Exploitative wages disappear. Employment becomes negotiation, not necessity. Work shifts from survival to purpose. Land reforms broke feudalism. Public education created middle classes. Home ownership built stability. UBC is the next structural leap. It democratizes capital itself. Thousands of welfare programs vanish. No applications, no oversight committees, no enforcement bureaucracy. One system replaces many. Administration costs collapse. Governments become distributors of ownership, not managers of poverty. UBC is funded by sovereign wealth funds, resource dividends, automation, taxes, public equity ownership. The state becomes a long-term investor. Turns replace taxation as the backbone of welfare. UBC doesn't make everyone rich. It prevents everyone from being excluded. Compound growth works for all, not just the privileged. The wealth gap stops widening by default. No more welfare stigma. No more proving poverty. No more shame. Every citizen is an owner. Participation becomes identity. Poor financial decisions exist. Markets fluctuate. Crises happen. UBC does not remove risk. It redistributes who can survive it. Its unchecked markets created monopolies. Exclusion collapse. UBC is not anti-capitalist. It is capitalism with a floor. Financial literacy becomes essential. Citizens learn investment, risk, and ownership. Economic understanding spreads, economically fluent. Nations with UBC become magnets. Citizenship becomes valuable. Governments rethink borders, residency, inclusion. UBC forces a redefinition of national identity. Critics ask, why should everyone receive capital? The answer is simple. Because everyone participates in the system that creates wealth. UBC acknowledges collective contribution. People stop asking, how do I survive? They start asking, what do I build? Society moves from fear-based decisions to future-based ones. When recessions hit, UBC holds. Capital cushions shocks. Automatic stabilizers engage. Panic slows. Economic collapse becomes harder. What if universal basic capital replaced all welfare systems? Poverty wouldn't vanish, but helplessness might. Dependency would fade. Ownership would rise. Dignity would return. This wouldn't be charity. It would be structure. If every citizen owned capital, what happens when ownership itself becomes programmable?